You are now tuned in to Two Studs in a Pod with your host Blaze and Meech, a podcast with a novel perspective on life from a couple of super terrific Uber dykes, but you can call us studs. Now let's get to it. Meech, drop that beat. Welcome back, peeps. You already know it's me, Blaze.
And me, Meech.
And we're a duo of everyday studs here to penetrate your mind with insight and mischief of the stud kind, one episode at a time. But before we get into our new... Oh, I didn't mean to go there. I meant
That's
to
some
ask
good
you.
shit you smoked today, boy.
Oh, man. How are you, my friend? That's what I wanted to say.
Oh, you want me to answer now?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. We gotta keep all this in, bruh. Man, I'm good. Life's good. It's finally nice out here in New York, so I'm been able to like chill outside, sit on the stoop, bring the property value down, you know, blast some soca music while I'm supposed to be working. But I don't know, I'm just enjoying the nice weather before it gets too hot, and then we start complaining about how goddamn hot it is. But that's about it. Work's been good. I've been pushing out some projects, so my boss is pretty happy with that. And wifey's good. Her and the kids came down this weekend, so I got to show them what it's like to chill on the stoop in BK.
Oh shit!
And
You gonna have to
people
show
watch.
me. You gonna have to show me.
Facts.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
Now that we can start traveling again and shit.
yeah.
Gotta make some plans. Go see some things.
Okay.
Okay, for real. I'm telling you, I'm itching to get on the road, man. I love traveling. That's like one of my favorite things to do. Go see places, new things and stuff like that. Even like randomly meet people sometimes that you'll never see again, but just enjoy like a funny moment with or something. That's cool. So I love traveling. Way more than I love putting papers in in the yard, and maintaining the lawn. But yeah, you know, I am still doing the lawn thing, and you know, living in Lowe's. That seems to be
It's your second
my
home.
new, yes, which reminds me of something funny that I'm gonna bring up a little later. But before we get into our new picks this week, I've got a question for you. I saw this like a few times in different ways, but a post that really made me curious. But do you know how to change a tire?
I know the steps, but I've never actually had to change one.
What?
Like my dad had showed me when I was younger. I was probably like a teenager when I first got my car.
It's always astonishing to me. I think DJ Envy had posted he was on the bridge and he caught a flat and he didn't know how to change it and he was turning the wrong way, right? So I'm like, are you kidding me? That was one thing. Like my mom was adamant. She was like, you cannot learn how to drive until you learn how to change a tire.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yes, because that's what my grandfather did to her. So my grandfather made her learn. That way she would never have to wait on the side of the road for anybody unless it was like, you know, something beyond that.
Major.
But that's usually, you know, something that would happen. So I had to learn how to do that. I used to do that all the time. I used to do that. I've done it for myself several times. I've done it for other people. I remember one time I was walking down the street and I saw this lady and she was by herself and she was changing the tire and or trying to change it at least. And I was like, ma'am, are you like by yourself trying to do this? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, yo, I got it. And I did. I was a lot younger then. Of course, I was walking, obviously, but but I did change the tire. I would change the tire for people at work all the time. Like I changed mad tires. Yeah. change tires for my girl, like whatever girl, shit like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy to me that people don't know how to change the tire. Like this just
Yeah.
seems odd. Anyway, but let's go on and get into these new Netflix picks, bestseller reads, or just some new things that we're serving up this week in Green Peas. Do you have anything interesting for us this week, Meech?
Yeah. So Audible was doing like a cool deal and wifey hooked me up. Like they were doing like buy one get one credits or something like that.
Mhm.
So she hooked me up with like 6 credits. So I got like 12 new books. So I'm gonna have a lot more for you guys. But right now I'm actually reading a book called Honey Girl. And I think it was like on Oprah best reads list or some shit. I didn't know all this stuff until I actually read like the synopsis of the book. So it's about like a lesbian couple, right? But they're not really a couple. So the girls get married in Vegas, and then one of the girls wakes up to like the other girl's business card and a picture and like a ring on her finger, and that's how she knows they got married. So it's cool. Like it's a different take on like LGBTQ
You
story.
all, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's you hauling for real. So I'm like, halfway through the book and they live in 2 different states. Like they were just in Vegas on vacation, had a good time together and got drunk and got married. So, it seems like it's a pretty good book. It touches on a couple other things, like, one of them, the parents is real strict and like the girl is doing whatever her parent wants her to do. And she's finally like starting to do things she wants to do. So it's cool. I like it because it's different. It's not the typical like you know I've been with a guy before and I'm testing the waters out or like studs or shit. Like it's just so I like it. That's what I'm really focused on now. I'm halfway done. So by the next one I'll probably be done with a couple more books. But what you been watching?
Well, first and foremost, the WNBA. As
Mm-hmm.
WNBA season has begun. Okay, and begun with a bang, 2 back-to-back bangers by some great ballers. And I just like seeing the new crop of girls. Like this new crop of girls really got like that it factor. I know it's gonna take a while for the women's game for whatever reason to build up, but it's I mean, which is still crazy to me. But I mean, I love basketball, so been watching that.
Yeah.
But I caught this scammer thing on Netflix, and there's just one episode with this guy that he is a scammer, okay? And he
Mm-hmm.
teaches you. They're like, so what's an easy scam for somebody to do? And he's like teaching you how to do some kind of crazy scam to
Where's he
like
from?
get money.
Miami or Nigeria?
Nah, I mean he's definitely
Uh,
got to have some Nigerian in him somewhere because. But it was just interesting that he like when he broke it down. It was the whole series is about different scammers,
mm.
but his in particular, because if his in particular, I think struck me because it feels like something that I could do. You know
Oh
what I'm saying? Like if
damn.
I really paid attention to what he's doing, he was
Mm-hmm.
talking about like how to get free flights and do things
Oh,
like this, like that
oh,
type of
good stuff.
scamming. Yeah, it's like getting flued out. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah. So that was just like that's what I was like. He's not in jail. Like what's going on here? Very weird.
How's he telling?
Some exactly. Um, couple of something that was surprisingly good, at least to me and Nikki. You know what I'm saying? We watched it together. Um, was the Jamie Foxx thing? Dad, stop
Mm.
embarrassing me. The thing he did with his daughter. His daughter isn't in it, but it's. I think the name of the show really like doesn't do it justice. Like if they
Mm.
had a better name for it, then I think it would do better because it makes you feel like it's more kiddie than it kind of is. Because we
Oh,
watched it,
okay.
you know what I'm saying? It was
Uh-huh.
fun, and it was funny because Jamie Foxx is funny. You know, he's a funny guy, so it was pretty funny and adult funny at the same time. And I think if you're a parent, which most people our age are going to be parents or
Yeah.
of some kind of way, you know what I'm saying? Then it's definitely relatable. So that was funny. And then that damn Michael Che, I think that's on HBO
Hmm.
Max. Yeah, that shit was funny.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
that
saw like
yeah.
a they were interviewing him about it today on a show I was watching. I was like, oh, that looks like it's gonna be good.
Yes, I haven't ever really been like a huge Michael Che fan,
Hmm.
but that show made me look at him differently.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, I don't know if maybe the Michael Che we were getting before was a more watered down version, and this is more like the kind of comedy he really wants to do. But
Hmm.
it's really well done, and it was really funny. We enjoyed it. Like we binged it basically till
Oh,
we
I'm
fell
about to
asleep,
add that to the list.
which these days doesn't mean a long time, but
It's like 9:45.
yeah, maybe 10:05 on a Friday. Okay, oh, maybe yes. All right, so let's get to it. So something happened the other day that got me thinking, and I was in Lowe's
Again.
because I live there, right? For like the 15th time. I'm surprised they don't know my name. Like, oh, you're here? Welcome home. Like, they
Damn.
should just say that when I get home. Like, my Wi Fi should connect. I should connect to the Wi
As soon
Fi.
as you walk in the door.
Yeah, in the parking lot. So I got like my own parking spot and everything. Like, if you're looking for me in Lowe's, you already know where my truck is going to be, okay? I have
That's a
parking in this
shame.
one area every time, no matter what part of Lowe's I'm going to.
Damn.
And then I'm like, damn, why did I park all the way over here? But that's just where I like to park. I feel like my baby is safe there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my
So
god.
we go park there. We go park there. Anyway, so I'm in Lowe's, right? And I walk by, and there's this old white couple. And the old lady says to her husband, she's like, you got to be shitting me. Now, mind you, I'm in Central Florida, okay? So
Right.
and I'm like, and he's like, what? You know, like tired of his wife, kind of what? We've been together for 100 years already,
Yeah.
and you always complaining. So she's like, look at his pants. So I look, and I just see that it's a black dude. I'm like, look at this racist lady.
Hmm.
As I'm walking by her, this big, it was a big black dude. He was mad young, but as I turned around and looked down, his pants were very inappropriately low to be working. Like,
Oh man. Oh, to be working.
yes, he worked there.
Yeesh. Okay.
Yes, he had on the Lowe's vest and everything, and I was like, "Yo, his pants are a little too low there. What's up with that sag? That sag is a little too low." So I'm like, if I'm thinking like this suddenly, does that mean that I'm getting old?
um, Possibly, but I feel like the way these kids dress these days is just, especially at work. I don't feel like you're getting too old.
Well,
Maybe.
exactly. But
Right?
also, that
Because
made me wonder, like, does that mean that more doctors are in my future? And like, as a stud, how does that work? Because it's weird and awkward already going to like doctors
hmm,
as a masculine presenting person. So now that
facts.
we're getting older and we're gonna have to go see more doctors, like how do we deal with that? Because obviously when you go to the lady doctor,
Hmm. And it's called a lady doctor, right? So you're
the
like,
lady
well,
doctor,
it's not necessarily what it's called, but
no, the GYN. When you go to the
yeah.
GYN, usually like when I go to the GYN, they're asking me where's my wife, so that she
Oh
like if
damn.
I'm just there, yes, yeah. So this like makes it very awkward, and it just
Hmm.
made me start thinking, like this is me getting deep, right? Made me wonder how many of us studs or just masculine presenting women avoid going to the doctor or
Mm.
paying proper attention to our health care because of the things
Right.
we've experienced. You know what I'm saying with our parents.
Yeah. That's tough. I happen to like, well, since I'm back in New York, I've been
Mm.
going to this doctor. I started going back to the doctor I've been going to since I was like 18. So she knew me. My mom goes to her, my sister goes to her, so I felt comfortable going to her. But like having to, she just retired, so having to branch out and find other doctors, like I always, the way they have the app set up nowadays, like you can put in like your pronouns and stuff like that. So I don't know if all hospitals are doing that or all doctors' offices are doing that or not. But I went to a doctor and they were asking me about like my partner and all this stuff. And then like she started looking at my chart and she
Mm.
apologized. She was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Like I see that your partner is a woman," and stuff like that. So for me, I think it's not as scary, I guess, as it used to be.
Mm.
But you know, I guess now they're trying to be, some hospitals or doctors' offices are trying to be a little bit more like with the times, because the one that wifey works for, they actually have a LGBTQ plus center and doctors that like specialize in that kind of stuff. So
I think it depends on like where you're located. Like
yeah.
obviously when we were down in South Florida, I had my doctors that I had
Hmm.
already went through that awkward phase
Yeah.
with, right? Because I was forced to. You know what I'm saying? That's when they found out that I had the PCOS. So I was forced to because something was wrong. Like
Right.
I had to. I thought when they told me something, I thought I was dying. I was like, oh, I can see the light. And they're like, relax. You just need to lose some weight, okay? And I was like, oh,
Damn.
so, yes, bro. So I was like, oh, that's it. And then that's what sprung me into. I mean, I needed it. Obviously, I needed that wake up call. I was wilding, okay,
Yeah.
but I uh, that was because I needed to go there. So I had already broken those barriers with those people, and then I got to a point where if I didn't need you per se, then I just you know
Yeah.
you
Stop
know
going or
right.
avoiding it. Right.
Right, exactly, exactly. Maybe not so much like my GYM was cool, but she was cool, and her office was cool. And even though they
Hmm.
did sometimes ask me where my wife was,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? The particular nurse, or I don't know, but she was always like extremely cool, and the doctor, like, she knew what this deal was. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and they're the ones who helped me get through my PCOS scare. I'm gonna see the light, Jesus. So,
Lord,
I'm
take
gonna
me
tell
now.
my mama, and they're like, relax, get on the treadmill, okay? That's all.
Change
Eat
your
a
diet up.
salad
Eat
every once in a
right.
while, right?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm gonna die. Oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
Central Florida, I could see, and
right,
then being in a place like New York, there's everything here. So
right,
it's just
exactly.
different.
So being here now, not only is it new, but I'm in this kind of an area, right? Even though
Hmm.
there's a lot of, I mean, it's Orlando. I mean, have you seen the soccer teams? Our team is a
Right.
fucking rainbow fucking parade. But the weird thing though is like, um, I know that I need to go. So like now I'm like in the hunt and I'm searching, and Nikki has been really testing them out. She's like the tester. She goes to the doctor, gets a feel, talks to them
Hmm.
about me a little bit, gets a feel
Okay.
about how they feel about it, and then let's see if I'll make an appointment. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, um, I mean, as weird as it is, like my mom was a nurse, right? But my dad didn't like going to the doctor either. So, so there's
It's in the
that, and then
genes.
yeah. But the scary thing is like having a male doctor because
Hmm.
I had a male doctor and I
Okay.
obviously still had the PCOS, and they basically told me that I was like just being a pussy, and I should start taking tons of Advil like just a week before I knew that that dreadful time was about to happen, just to like ease the
Oh
pain.
wow.
Like just keep taking it up and until, and then I'll be alright. I'm like, are you
Wow.
serious?
That's what
Like,
the doctor
yes,
told you? Yeah.
yeah, it's a doctor, bro. So there you go. No, and it's just, and then it's also weird. It's just weird to have like a weird woman looking at my magic clam. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
I
The
mean, it's
whole
not like I haven't
experience.
had. I've had strange women looking at my magic clam before, but they weren't getting paid by my insurance. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? At least we got to kiss first or something. There was drinks
Right.
involved.
Warm
There's
me up.
yes,
Yeah.
but do you think it would be less awkward if if the doctor was a stud?
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Or would it be more awkward?
I don't know. I kind of.
Because it would be like,
No, I
I'm
think
not
that they would be a little bit more understanding because they're probably like, this shit is awkward you know, for
everybody.
you. They understand. I feel like
Yeah,
they
well,
would
yeah.
understand. Yeah.
And that's another thing, right? Like, wouldn't it be? Well, I guess maybe it would be easier if it was a stud that somebody who really could
Yeah, who
understand.
understands. So you don't have to go
Yeah,
through all those foolish questions and.
especially that. Like, I remember asking them, "Can they just take my freaking baby maker factory out? Because I'm
Mhm.
good." And they,
Right.
and they were like, "No, we won't do that. You're too young." Blah blah blah. I'm like,
Yeah.
who do you think is gonna say anything? Like, if I get pregnant, I'm gonna be on Oprah,
Right.
and Oprah's not even around anymore.
She
Damn
gonna
it,
come back.
for real. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I remember I had one doctor's office that I would go to when I was in Miami. And it was awkward to me because my doctor was so bad. Like she just had like that typical Miami Cuban girl body and but it was like all natural. And I would be like, damn, like I don't want to go to this doctor. Like I think she was standing in for my normal doctor one time and I had to go. And I was just like, this is awkward. Like I felt awkward because she was like somebody that I would probably holler at. You know what I mean? So I was like, damn, like where's my regular doctor? Like why is she not here? So I like on the flip side, like I think I would have been like okay if it was a stud doctor because I wouldn't have felt like uncomfortable.
that's definitely interesting. Also, the thing about getting older, right, is like, and being masculine and not having any children. Like,
Hmm.
isn't that it's supposed to go like your kids take care of you when you get older? Um, I think we need to form a club or something like that because what are we gonna do when we get older? We're all gonna have to live together in like on like an island or something.
Yeah, man, Stud Island.
What? I don't know about just Stud Island though. That's not
No,
gonna
we're gonna
work.
have to pay some big booty nurses with the what's the Biggie line? To that nurse with the big booty to come. My,
Yeah,
I can't. We need those nurses to come take care of us.
for real.
Oh shit, wifey's gonna kill me when she hears this episode. I'm gonna have to cut that.
Yeah.
She's like, "What you say?"
Man, yeah, bro. Interesting things happen when you go to Lowe's.
Hmm. Yeah, stay out of Lowe's, homie.
Uh, if only I could. I wish Lowe's had better music because I'm in there enough. It's like CrossFit.
Let's get wild.
It's a wild world we live in. Don't believe us? You obviously haven't spent any time on the internet. What's even more scary are some of the questions we come across from others seeking advice. Luckily for them, we're here to be their guides. This week's question is: do you think couples should have a cheat day where both of them can cheat on a particular day as long as they agree to it never coming out?
Like a cheat meal? Because I'm gonna say no. Because I want to live to see another day.
Another minute, another second.
No, but honestly, that's tough. I feel like it makes me think about that episode we did with Brooklyn, where she was talking about like again, it's not being exclusive.
Oh
I think
yeah,
after you've been together for so long, I guess if you agree upon something like that, it could work, but I don't think it could work for everybody.
yeah. I know in this situation that I am currently in, this not gonna not gonna work.
Yeah.
But sure. Um, I don't know. I think of course everybody's instinct always is to say no, right? Because you
Hmm.
don't want to die. You don't want to
Right.
die. But I think it just depends on the relationship. Like if y'all feel like that's what will make the relationship stronger, that you need that, then do that. Who is
Yeah.
anybody else to tell you how to live your relationship? You know what I'm saying? Like every relationship I've been in has been the same because it's been a relationship, but it's been different. Like, or else I wouldn't be where I am now.
Yeah.
So, to each their own. I don't particularly like that um, notion for myself,
Mhm.
but I'm basing that also off of my current reality. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
who
I
knows
think,
what?
yeah, I think, so in my current relationship, no, because I just don't have that desire to want to be with anybody else. But I feel like in other relationships that I was in, that probably could have worked. And then maybe it would have lasted.
And then it's also how it's set up too. Like when you say cheat day, right? Is that what that's
Right.
what it
Like,
said? Like it's that
it's,
one particular day, but
right. It's going to be August
I
22nd.
can't.
Is
I
that
don't
the
know if
day
I
we're
could
going to
plan.
cheat?
Right? Like I'm like I don't know if I could plan that day. Like I could see something spontaneously happening and being like, okay, I
Yeah.
got my one day a year out. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But if you're not telling the other person that you got
Right.
your one day a year out, then
That could turn into
one day could be
365 days.
exactly, exactly. So how do you even work that out? Like I don't know. If you're not gonna find out anyway, I might as well just do it anyway. But are you giving me the say so? If that's gonna be the case,
Right. So I guess it's a safe haven for if you get caught, you'd be like, oh, that was my one day. That sounds like a cheater came up with that.
okay, big facts. And on that note, we're going to end the show here. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Two Studs in a Pod, and on our individual pages on Instagram and Twitter. For Meech, it's at the Homie Meech on Instagram and Homie Meech on Twitter. And for myself, it's.me.blaze on Instagram and it's me Blaze2 on Twitter. Don't forget to check out our site, twostudsinapod.com, where you can find our latest episodes on audio and video, animated style, and more. For our voyeur peeps, you can also visit our YouTube channel for our animated podcast every Thursday. You can catch us on podcast platforms everywhere, including Apple Podcasts. Gratitude is always an attitude, so we want to say thank you for lending us your ear.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in.
Arrivederci, bitches.